Everyone. First, let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Ryan Mason, and I am an educator. I work in a elementary middle school, and I really battled with my topic. Not necessarily the basis of it, which is African American studies. What does it mean to different individuals of different backgrounds? Also, is it important and why? I battled with it because I wanted to get the full essence or full spectrum, um, which I think I was able to do a pretty good job at. I have a phenomenal response from my friends and family. I put a post up on Facebook and just asked people to help me. I gave four basic questions that I tried to leave very open ended and was just hoping to get the best mixture. And I got an outpour of information of people who truly embodied that question, and it didn't take them a lot of time. It was off the cuff. You can see they kind of read. They were reading the questions and thinking about them throughout the video. You can't really see it as much through the video, but I had to fish through a lot of footage. I have a lot of written responses. I have a lot of text responses, emailed responses, and on Facebook that I wasn't even able to display in here just for the sake of time.
What does African American studies mean to me? Is it important? Why?
I think African American studies is very important not only for African Americans but everyone, so they can understand the culture better.
The history of how African Americans came to this country is a very important piece of history, world history, that a lot of people may not remember.
But in life, it means studying the vast array of the culture, starting from really with history, and then bringing it into the classroom, and how do we all treat each other, and then in the African American classroom, teaching about who their forefathers were, who came before them, who made all the rights for them, who gave them what they have today because it's not very long ago that schools were segregated and they wouldn't be in the classroom with me.
Of course, the study of people of African descent, black people who, all people descended from Africa though, but those who live in America, because African Americans, that term, those people who've been given those names, they have a very distinct history that no other people have.
In my school, we don't talk about anything. My friends don't know who Nelson Mandela is. They don't know anything except the basic stuff about Martin Luther King.
African American studies, very important for me. I really did not have an African American studies class until I got to college. And when I got to college and actually took my first class, I was upset. I was angry because I was wondering why I didn't get this information when I was in high school or even middle school.
Where you only have the month of February in some schools, and that's the only month that they talk about Black History Month, which I think is wrong. It should just be intertwined with all studies. And my classrooms were mixed. They had everything. It was a mix of everything. I think it was pretty much even. It was Hispanic, it was Haitian, it was French, it was Black. And so I never grew up in and not until I became a teacher did I ever see this is all Black school, this is all white school. And it's not, to me, it's still segregated. Like, it's not the same. It depends where you live and
A lot of times, African American history starts at that point of enslavement in America. And it's just a very important history. It's a very rich history. I think of Jim Crow. I think of the Black Codes. I think of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. I think of the Nation of Islam. I think of the Civil Rights Movement. I think of Malcolm X. I think of Ida B. Wells and her fighting against lynching. I think about journalism, black journalism, revolutionary newspapers like the Chicago Defender.
If we don't know our history, we will be doomed to repeat it, good or bad.
What does education in general mean to you?
It can never be taken from you. And it really will create different life circumstances for you.
In general, education is empowerment. If you don't have a good education, you're limited in the choices and the decisions and your abilities. It limits you.
Is just that, to educate, not ABC 1, 2, 3 and everything, but to educate about all the different cultures, all the things that have happened, where we are today, why we're here, how it affects everybody else, how our society and community don't talk. And if you would just talk to people and say how things are and find out how they feel, that whole racist part would not be there anymore.
The current state of our educational system in regards to seeing yourself in the curriculum.
The education system prepping you for your future.
Well, in science, math, and reading, but I mean, in life, not really.
What about to be culturally sensitive?
No, I am, because my mother teaches me that, but the school system doesn't teach us anything about that. The closest I've come was like South Africa, and learning about like all the racial stuff there.
It depends where you are. I don't think it's in the curriculum at all. I think it's up to the teacher. If you get a teacher that cares about it, they're going to teach it and do it. If they don't, you never hear about it.
It's very, very important because it allows you to see yourself in, the country where you were raised. It allows you to see what your contributions were, what your ancestors' contributions were, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, but it just lets you see yourself in the place where you're living, in the place where you're growing up.
Some of the socioeconomic issues that the students have today, they're different. They're just vastly different than when I was in middle school. And that was some 30 plus years ago. I think the educational system is doing the best that they can to try to prep most students for their future.
Not prepare me for my future. Until I got to college and I chose my curriculum. That's it. I chose my course, I should say, my courses of study. That's when I became empowered. That's when...
Especially for our inner city youth. How do we teach them to become contributing members of society at large?
Up here, my cultural bias is a factor in the education system. Yeah.